Traders War Room proudly presents the daily video with the best trading and investing alerts anywhere on any platform. With up-to-date stock, chart, and market news, TWR is simply your one-stop shop. Activate your 2-day trial of TWR All Access on the Discord platform. We cover it all at Traders War Room, whether you're looking for stocks, options, futures, Forex, crypto, or even sports betting, or you want real-time alerts, live trading, algo signals, or even if you just want to be part of a community of like-minded investors to grow, learn, and share together as a team. Something for everyone at Traders War Room. Activate your 2-day trial today and go to war with TWR. Tweaky Tuesday. Alert update. First trade we took of the day, it was the wrong direction. It was the wrong time for it because shortly after this, it ended up jumping. But we went in at the $400 call, entered in at 47. It bopped up a little bit. We were looking for a little bit more push, and then it pulled back, and we decided to go ahead and cut it. Minimal loss here, but definitely wish we could get this one back. Trimmed out of our CCL trade that we ended up getting in yesterday. It did really well, so we entered this at 55, came out, trimmed out at 82. Nice little gainer right there. Apple finally was making its move, man. We'd been waiting for this to kind of push to the downside as the signals were all pointing to more bearish tendencies, and this definitely paid some bills today. 136 to 205, that's solid gain right there. I want to highlight the TWR SPX and NDX trade algo. This thing is amazing, okay? The NDX signals push off and it gives you suggested contracts on QQQ, and the SPX pushes off and it gives you suggested contracts on the SPY. But I want you to look at the signal and look at the time frame, okay? You're looking at about 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Of course, we know that is 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Look at the charts because this thing signaled this early and you could have made some hella bank on this particular trade right here. Right there, the orange line with the green arrow, that's where the SPX algo pushed off for the SPY contract. And I gave you the levels of the high and the low from the candlestick right there in the purple. Look at how it just ran throughout the day. It was a little choppy at first, and then it just took off. And this one could have made you anywhere from $2 to $3 profit, depending on where you were entry at. So that was a fantastic trade right there, right off of the algo, following the SPX day trade. Similar with the SPX, the NDX gives you the idea for QQQ. Same thing that happened with QQQ. Right there in the orange is when the trade alert went off. There's the levels in purple, and boom, right there. Almost immediately just took off and didn't look back. And this one would have done fairly well as well. You could have made $2 to $3 trading the Q right off of that signal. We have multiple algos that push signals just like the ones you just saw. They're TWR proprietary algos, and they are simply the best. No other system has what we offer, and none of them put out the results that we do, man. We do a lot of work behind the scenes. We get a lot of data, and we utilize machine learning with all of our algos. So the algos try to become better and better as the machine and the AI learns the system of the trade that we utilize with the proprietary algorithm. So definitely worth your time to check us out, at least to see what type of algo trades we have. $100 to $1,000 per day is possible as a Traders War Room market warrior. So quit wasting that money that's not making money and join TWR today. All links are in the description. Hot off the press. Top story is dealing with gold. Gold's been running pretty hard here recently, and it edges lower as there seems to be kind of some bank relief and the steady dollar dampening demand. So banking is still going to be extremely volatile. Again, you're not seeing too many headlines with the banking. The testimony today that you heard kind of was actually a pretty transparent idea of the SVB collapse and the banking industry as a whole. The regulators are still saying that we're solid on banking things, but I still expect some more volatility in banking. But it's interesting to note that anytime you have things that shift dramatically as far as finances are concerned, you're going to have gold kind of shifting around them. When the equities are pumping, gold usually tapers off a little bit. And then as you see, when the equities kind of soften a bit, you'll notice that people are starting to dump money into gold as more of a safety net type of thing. So definitely paying attention to gold. We have a gold trade out there. It's doing really well right now. But if we start to pull back a little bit more, we'll go ahead and secure all profits on that trade, and we'll get into gold in and out of the volatility that underpins on the banking crisis. I think this is funny, man, because I called this out when I first saw an interview with this dude back in the day, man. That Sam Bankman-Fried and that FTX fiasco that happened. Well, I guess he tried to bribe some Chinese officials to kind of loosen up some of the money that he had tied up over there in Chinese accounts, and they weren't going to let him get access to his money, so he decided to go try to bribe these guys. Well, he ends up getting caught, and he's going to have to get slapped with a fine for $40 million for the Chinese bribe. But this dude was a creep, man. I knew from the moment he just opened his mouth and was talking, all what he had coming out of his mouth was just a bunch of BS. So I don't know how he got to the stardom he did with looking the way he did and kind of acting the way he did. Man, I've known many hustlers out there, man, and that dude was just a fishy hustler, and that's just all the time going, nah, I just don't trust what he has to say. And look at it now, man. It's coming back and catching up, man. So definitely paying attention to the crypto sector. We got them coin puts. I still think we got some downtrending pressure going in this crypto verse, and this whole ecosystem is looking for the cool down period from the recent surge it's seen. And this one's interesting because JP Morgan's Chase, Jamie Dimon, is going to be disposed in the Epstein case. Apparently, people are trying to say that Dimon might have known something about the Epstein back in the day, and they still did business with this guy, even knowing that he was kind of shady. You know, here's the issue. Jamie Dimon is a solid banking guy, man. He is solid. I mean, when you talk about professionals in their industry, Jamie Dimon is up there. And anything that kind of stains his record is going to be huge on JP Morgan and Chase. But I do think that Jamie Dimon's going to be able to, provide some guidance on this stuff. And look, big business wise, we don't know a lot of the stuff that, people are doing out there, and we're dealing with them. A lot of these rich people, they have these, second lives that you never even know, man. And all you're doing is looking at the numbers, and they have legit things backing up. Bernie Madoff, there for a while, that Ponzi scheme guy, man, he was doing this whole stuff, and he was, pulling the wool over people's eyes. This Epstein guy, a lot of people did know what he was doing, but those shady ones himself. But a lot of people looked at him like he was just legit businessman because he was in that circle, So who knows really what'll come out. I'm hoping for the best because I do like Jamie Dimon, but it's definitely not a good look overall. And this can open up some skeleton in the closets, and I'm hoping for Jamie's record that he comes out squeaky clean, because he's a solid dude, and I would hate for his record to be tarnished in any way, shape, or form with this whole Epstein thing. Stocks I like. Let's talk about BABA. Man, all right, so the news comes out. They're going to split BABA into 6 different divisions. That hopefully is a program and a platform for profitability on each of the individual sectors, because they'll be able to open up capital and go to private listings on the different sectors. So this does have potential to continue to move higher. However, BABA has recently been down low. Now, I get it. This is fantastic news, but it's a dramatic move that BABA's had. And we've seen BABA in the 120s. I just don't think that we have the steam to keep this up. I think people will profit take here eventually. So we're setting the top line there at 100. If we get a good solid close on some volume above that, maybe we can start looking towards 105, 110 area. However, I do think that we'll get a cool down period probably around that 100, maybe 101 area, and we'll start looking for people taking profits and sliding to the downside, which I think will end up around $96 or $95 at the lower level. Anything below that 97.50, we're looking to the short side of the house and ride this down to $95, $94. MU had pretty decent earnings. We're kind of broadening out a little bit. Definitely a huge outside bar after those earnings. We got the top line trigger set at about 60.50. Bottom line, 59.15. We can consider that 59. The only issue with MU that really had, some things was some of the forward guidance was a little bit more cautious than optimistic. So that might get some investors a little leery, especially. And these semiconductor area has been cooling down here recently. So it would be prudent, or it would be in the realm of thinking that we'll probably get a little bit of a cool down. However, we can also definitely get some continuation and start to test those recent highs, where if we do get to push to the upside, we peak out about 61, maybe 62. We'll probably hit that resistance and probably come back down a little bit. So we'll definitely pay attention to this one come to bell tomorrow. Lulu, I don't even have levels on this one. This one was very unexpected. It hit hard. It killed earnings. It had some good forward guidance. And this one, I don't think probably will see much more to the upside off of this earnings. Could run a little bit more, but it had such a dramatic push. I only see this coming down to the downside, but I have regrets with this one because I wanted to do a lotto trade on this, and I'll show you the trade I was looking at earlier in the day, and I just didn't pull the trigger because premiums were spiked. I look at the delta versus the theta ratio. I didn't like it, and I started doubting myself. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to pull the trigger, and I wish I would have, because this trade is absolutely going to be a monster tomorrow, catching this at the bell. This was the trade I was actually looking at. I was looking at that Lulu 350 call. When I was watching it, and about there at that 1240 time frame, it was definitely an way out the money trade. But you can see the contracts were at that 194. They fluctuated between 190 and 195. And 194 was the period where I was like, man, this could be a definite great trade. But again, I doubted myself and I didn't pull the trigger, and I wish I would have, because this trade would definitely have pulled out a decent return, hindsight being 2020. But I tell you what, I'm kind of glad I didn't do the trade, because Lulu could have easily gone 13% in the opposite direction as well. So, you win some, you lose some. But this one, sometimes when you hesitate, you don't get to reap those benefits. Viking Therapeutics, and I'm showing you this chart here. This is a weekly chart, and basically we were penny stock trading this back in the day, back in between the $2 and the $4 range. And what I want to highlight with these therapeutic stocks is a lot of times these are very fun, and I love the pharmaceutical sector for this particular reason, because when these things pop, man, they pop extremely hard and they go quick, right? And I want you guys to take note of the buzzwords that really you want to look into when you're looking at pharmacology, okay? Diet drug, diabetes, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, and cancer, all right? Specifically, weight loss and diabetes are the hot ones right now, because that's so much money in those particular spectrums. Just imagine this, okay? People spend billions of dollars on supplements, the hydroxycut and stuff like this, just to raise, metabolism levels and raise heart rate levels with nothing more than just caffeine and B12 vitamins, right? All right, imagine a weight loss drug that actually showed improvement with legit weight loss, destroyed fat cells, it ate away stuff like this, and it was a legit drug that people, not just the Hollywood stars, could afford, right? That's something to get excited about, because that is huge money. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping here. But that's what you want to get excited. So specifically, weight loss and diabetes. You start to see these therapeutic drugs talking about revolutions in those particular fields. That is money making right there. And you need to hop on them when they're cheap, because like you can see here, this was $2. You hop in it, you just buy it and forget it, and you reap the benefits, a year or so later. Last but not least, I want you guys to pay attention to play, okay? This is Dave & Buster's, and I don't know if you've been into a Dave & Buster's here lately, but they're pretty packed, okay? Things are going back to normal. People are, spending money at the bar. They're spending money at the food. They host the UFC fights at Dave & Buster's, and they're crowded, okay? And people are spending money and playing games. I know when I go to Dave & Buster's with my family, we spend about $200, $300 just our family alone, okay? And we're not the normal, we're just like everyone else. So definitely paying attention to this. We got the top line trigger at the 36.25. We got the bottom line at 34.25. Those are good levels that if we start to close above or below those, you can kind of ride the momentum in the trade on that one. But this one, if you can get this at a discount, this might also be a good investment trade as well to go ahead and go shares long. And I lied. I'm giving you one more. NVDA, okay? NVDA, it's been kind of sliding here recently. We saw a little bit of a pop today, but I think we're going to hit some resistance at this particular level. And I think we got a little bit more downward trending. I think today was just a pop based off of, normal volume and stuff. But I think if you go out far enough, we're going to go retest those 260 levels to see if we can hold that. Just retest the support level. I like NVDA, but it's definitely a rich stock right now. And I think that if you want to go long shares on this stock, I think you'll have a better opportunity to get this at a cheaper price. And I do think we got some downward continuation on this particular ticker. The market is our war zone and stocks are the battle. Join TWR and let's go to war. Make the market bend the knee in 2023. Join Traders War Room and bow to no one. Let's go to war.